Uh, Perfect. So now, before we briefly go through today's agenda, I would like to highlight once again that the main objective of this session is to showcase the prototype of the SoilWise repository, gather valuable feedback in order to ensure alignment with real-world needs, and explore potential pathways for new business opportunities and data-driven innovation. So with that, let's take a quick look at what is ahead in today's session. So following this introductory welcome, our colleague Tuna Coppens from ILVO will provide a brief overview of the SoilWise project, helping to set the context of today's session, excuse me. Next, we will move into the main demonstration of the SoilWise repository, followed by a walkthrough on how to utilize Health Studio to effectively transform and harmonize your data. And we will then continue on with a breakdown of the technical architecture and explore the various ways to integrate the SoilWise repository into existing systems and workflows. Finally, we will conclude the event with a Mentimeter and an open discussion where you are invited to share your thoughts or if there are any questions or suggestions. So I would like to ask Tuna to take over.
Thank you, Ekaterina. I hope my voice is clear. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I am Tuna Coppens, and I am going to provide you a short overview of the SoilWise project. And some of you already have this knowledge, participated some our events, and know about our project. So the ones that first time is interacting with our project, I will try to keep it as short as possible to give you some overview and make an introduction. So first slide, please. So what is the SoilWise project? SoilWise project is aiming to develop, test, and deliver a prototype for a long-term knowledge and data repository. Also, we are expecting to be part of European Soil Observatory. It is a 4-year project, a Horizon Europe project, which started in 2023 September with 15 partners from 7 different countries. So what we want to do is develop a solution and have a repository that can provide a value that can be useful for different group of stakeholders. That's the reason also we have 5 practical practice-oriented user cases we have, and according to each user cases, we are investigating what will be the added value, what SoilWise can bring with these different groups in the with using SoilWise, and how to improve health or contribute to improve soil health in European perspective. Next slide, please. Why we started that one? It is because, just a second, please. Yes. Every day we are making data. We are creating some data from the farmers, government agencies, national the authorities or policymakers from industry, private or SMEs from everywhere, research institutions. But while we are creating this data, which can bring a really huge value of our business, of our the work, and of course, these data are producing for be able to use it. But we have a huge limitation, big limitation, that it is not easy to find it. So first you need to find it. And if you're able to find that, then you're able to access this data. And this is also one step. If you can further pass these steps, then you have to face maybe the data that you want to use is you had access now, but it is not the way that you need it. It is not standardized or harmonized. It's a different format, and then you had to give a lot of effort for be able to use it, or maybe even you cannot use it at all. So because of this limitation that we are facing daily, we start to be able to build something that will help us to solve this issue. Next slide, please. So we are focusing on having one repository and data and knowledge repository about the data, the soil data, then can help us overall improve the soil health. And we are targeting different audience, of course, land managers and farmers. Other one is policymakers and authorities, scientific committee researchers, and business industries and industry partners, and research scientific committee and the research networks. Also, we are targeting general audience. They can need soil data and knowledge also in their maybe they would like to use it for in their garden, or I don't know. But we are focusing these different target groups, but also it's important to see which roles include the roles and to get deeper on that either. So when we are focusing these stakeholder groups, it's important to consider both data providers or data users and who will able to interact with this data, which role they are going to take, and how can be helpful. SoilWise Repository can create some value for them. Next slide, please. So while we are trying to reach the repository and as a one platform for being able to give us access for different data and knowledge related to soil. So we want to interact with a lot of SoilWise soil related projects, Horizon Europe projects, some other projects, scientific and so on. And we also focusing on stakeholder groups, data that can come from different stakeholder groups, from the public audience and so on. And also time to time we have regular interaction with DG GRC, DG Klima, and DG Agri, and DG Environment, and so on. So what we are trying to build is a one-stop for data and knowledge related to SoilWise, and for be able to give us access to this data and knowledge. Next slide, please. So what is it in it for you? First of all, it will be a one place to look for a knowledge and data about the soil, and so improve the fair in principle. It means the standardization, findability information about the soil. And with SoilWise, we hoping that we can contribute these principles for the soil informations, and also the platform that you can help us to create and answer your needs. So while you are giving us the feedback, you are being a part of this development, and you can be sure that what you consider or what you need is taking account, and then it will be responded. So it is another important perspective. And yeah, a big platform that we are aiming to can help you in daily work, can support your daily business, or help you with different perspective, maybe time management, maybe it will be maybe even create you some benefits to improve your network or collaboration and so on. So yeah, our last item is also about that one. Some places that can improve or facilitate your collaboration between different organizations, networks and people, and make it easier to access to relevant and your needed data and information knowledge. Thank you very much. Overall, as a summary, I can say that if you had further questions, I will be here. So thank you.
Thank you, Tuna. So now I will take over and present the live demonstration of SoilWise Repository. Let's give me a second. So you can either access the repository through the direct link of the SoilWise repository or through our SoilWise project website. Both links will be provided in the chat. Through our SoilWise project website, you can just either from the check out the repository option or under the resources tab, you can select the repository from the drop-down menu. So you can click and you will be directed into a land page. Perfect. We will need to be a little bit patient. That's perfect. So by clicking on Visit the repository, you would then redirect it to the main page of the SoilWise repository. I will go through a little bit of the different features that we currently have. First of all, there is the catalog component where you can either use keywords or free text to search through the catalog from the search bar, or you can select one of the available options. One of the available options under the search bar. On the right-hand side, there are some soil-related news that might be of interest from from Soil Mission. You can see we have also the demo events here and some additional ones that might be of interest for you. Next on, if we scroll down, we have the knowledge graph, which is a component that is under development. And then further down, we have some additional information. First of all, there are here listed the repositories from where SoilWise is currently harvesting from, starting from Inspire, Cordis, SDAC, Bonares to some national ones. We have some information for Hale Studio tool where you can use it to download and install in your computer, Hale Studio. Some other information regarding the vocabulary alignment, data knowledge, and the technical documentation, which will be elaborate further on during the presentation. Finally, I would like to draw your attention to our feedback option, the Hotjar widget, where you can provide feedback to us. We will showcase it later on. So first of all, I would like to demonstrate in general what SoilWise is currently has. So by viewing all records, we will then see the landing page. Yes, today we need to be extra patient. Perfect. So at this point, we have more than 2,000 results. You can further refine the results using a few options that we have. First of all, you can use the spatial filter. By activating, you can select the specific geographic area of interest. by moving the edges of the Greek frame and narrow down the area. And then we can activate the facets filters, which provide a few categories that the results were categorized to. So starting from type, we have some soil-specific categories such as chemical properties of soil, biological, physical properties, soil classification, of course, soil function, soil threat, soil processes, and then some more, if I may so, general categories such as soil management and ecosystem services. If you want to, let's say, showcase what is under the type category, you can see that the results are ranging from journal papers, data sets, documents to national policy documentation and some other audiovisual results. So it can be further narrowed down. And finally, I would like to showcase the sort by filtering, where you can filter out the results by title. So the results will be ordered based on alphabetically, and by date, which the results will filter out based on their publication or release date. So to go again in the landing page, so we can start the specific real case scenario that we have prepared for today. Again, patience is key for today, right? Great. So we adapted this demo, as I said, to a real-world scenario. So by doing that, we are enabled to explore how effectively the repository aligns with the demands of a practical workload, and to see its added value, and particularly in terms of time and effort efficiency, and whether it contributes to streamlining the processes. So the user in our case is a data scientist, who is focusing on converting raw data into tailored insights. So the specifications is that we aim to search for data concerning forestry, and to integrate diverse data sets into business intelligence workflows that will provide actionable insights for decision makers at small, medium-sized enterprises. So some of the requirements that we have is that it is really important to understand its metadata, such as the source details, and to determine if it requires data harmonization or any unit conversions, and to confirm that the dataset complies with the requiring licensing terms, if it is validated, and ensure that the business contact details are up to date if there are any queries or issues that we need to address with the data provider. So what was the usual path to for this scenario was to use Google or some dedicated websites to look for this kind of information, to use specific keywords such as forestry and soil properties for a particular region. However, in this way, this path is time-consuming, and often the results are very unstructured, have rather general information and links to research institutions and publication that takes a lot of time to go through that. And in addition, location-specific information is difficult to obtain via Google search. So hence SoilWise Repository. So I will just go ahead and use forestry as our keyword in the search bar. And by typing and submit, okay. So the results from the 2000 something that we had in the beginning, they were narrowed down to 6,076. So we need to focus in Germany, as I said. So I will go ahead and use the spatial filter by activating it and then try to delineate the area of interest as much as I can, and have to zoom in a little bit. And there. So when you're satisfied with your selection, we will click apply. And then the results were further filtered out. So now we have 176 results. As you can see, the results vary from the type of the results are data sets, service, journal articles, text, etc. So because we're focusing on data sets, I will go ahead and activate the facets filter and select from the drop-down menu the data set. So now we ended up with 108 results, which is manageable to go through. So for our purpose and for the demonstration purposes, we selected this one to demonstrate. So by clicking on it, you can see the resulting page and the metadata that we currently demonstrate. So first of all, there is the title and short abstract or description that is describing the dataset. In our case here, we have a map preview that indicates the area from where the data came from. In other case, there are some images. It varies. Additionally, we have the source from where the data are harvested from, and some relevant keywords to the data. And one of the most important things in our case are the contact details. They're here up to date, and if there are any queries or anything, we will just go ahead and use their email address. Finally, the format of the dataset is given, so you know ahead of in which format the dataset is coming. It can be downloaded to, plus some rights that in terms of licensing or privacy or wherever. Finally, I would like to showcase that link liveness assessment component, where the links are checked and indicated with color-wise. So if it's green, the link is checked and it works. In case of if it's red, the link is checked, however, it doesn't work. And when it's gray, the link has not yet been checked. So for us, it's okay. So we go ahead and open it, and it redirects us to the source repository. In our case, is Bonaret. Okay, perfect. So this is the window that pops up, has the same metadata as we saw previously in the resulting page of the SoilWise repository. with some additional ones. Also, you can find the title and the abstract in German. So to download it, you just go ahead and click download, where another window pops up, and you can choose for the drop-down menu the destination format from the available options, as well as the coordinate system. And by entering your email address and clicking on accepting the terms and licensing, you can just go ahead and download. It takes about like 2 to 3 minutes to appear in your email box. So then you can go ahead and download and move on. Now, I would like to ask for our colleague Ramona Rest from WeTransfer to take over and do her part of the demonstration of Hale Studio.
Thank you, Katharina. I will demonstrate to you Hale Studio. First, I will share my screen. Yes. We start from this point. I already downloaded the files from this view and unzipped the files. Now we can change to Hale Studio. Yes, that's the overview of Hale Studio. Hale Studio is one of our tools we develop for data transformation and data harmonization, especially for geodata. And yes, now I would like to give you a short demonstration of this tool and using the example we just discussed before with Katharina. And during this demonstration, I will show you how to import schemas and the source data. I show you how to perform basic mapping steps and how to export the transformed data. Important, I don't would show you a complete mapping because source data are a bit complex and we don't have enough time to do a complete mapping, but you can see how it will work. Okay, let's start by importing the source schema. I use the import button, then I select source schema and next. And I can import source schema from a file, a data file, from multiple files, from a URL, from a preset. In this case, I use a file, but Hale Studio is developed for transformations to Inspire. So we have a lot, all Inspire schemas as preset in the tool. Other options are from a VFS or direct from your own database if you have one. Okay, then I browse to my source file. Here it's in test data. And I select the first of the Esri geodatabase files, and then I can import it. And Hale Studio known automatically that's a file is the Esri file geodatabase and import all derived files for the database, and then I can finish and it load. Hale Studio can import all common geodata formats such as shape, geopackage, CSV, JSON, GeoJSON, or GML. But in this example, I use the Esri geodatabase because the test data, example data are in this format. Yes. Important is that the Esri geodatabase only can import it with the Hale Studio Pro plugin. Yes. Okay, then the schema is imported and we see it here in our schema explorer. That's the name of the data, and these are all the attributes, but without the objects or the geo instance. The next step is to import the source data. So I use again the import button, source data, and then it's the same view. I can choose every geo format I want, but it has to be use the same schema. So in this case, I browse again to my test data file and choose a geodatabase file and import it. Then I do finish and the data load. Okay. So yes, now we can see here behind the attribute names a number, 239 instance in total I have imported, but the data set is much more larger. Before this demonstration, I imported a filter, so only some of the data imported because the transformation take too long if I load all. Of course, the full data set could also be imported and completely transformed with the tool, but this would increase the processing time between the individual steps and takes too long for this demonstration, and maybe it would be a bit boring. So I only use some of the object instance. So then here we see the source data view. It's like the attribute window in common GIS softwares like QGIS or ArcGIS. We see here the attribute names, and here two of our objects in the data set with the corresponding values. Okay. The data consists of measurements from an environmental monitoring station in Reifenhausen by Germany. And each data point is recorded first with a time step we see here. And then with various measurements like soil temperature, soil water content, pressure, and precipitation, for example. So I have decided to transform the data into the Inspire schema for environmental monitoring facilities. I already imported the target schema. You can see it here in the target view. But if I want to import another one, I use the import button, select target schema, and then I can browse to my file, or I can use a preset or something else. And it don't have to be an Inspire schema. It can be another schema, something intern from your own database or so on. But I use in this example the Inspire schema. Okay, I can cancel this because I already did it. So now I can start with the mapping process. For this demonstration, I only map a few attributes as example, and if you have questions about more complex mappings, you feel free to reach out to me later. Okay, first I will map the overreaching features using the read type function. So I select the data set at all and the feature type environmental monitoring facility in the source view and the target view, and then I select here a mapping function and I use the mapping function retype to say every object in this data set is one environmental monitoring facility. Okay, then I can finish this step Okay. So, okay. Good. Now we in the alignment view, we see it's mapped. And we can go over to the next step. Next, I will map the geometry. The geometry in the source data is stored in the attribute shape. And I can't see everything because of Zoom. So I change in the map view. And I want to zoom to my data. Yes, here are my data. This is my data point. Here are the environmental, here are the environment monitoring facility. And when I zoom out, I can see the station is near Reifenhausen in Germany. And in this window, we only see the geometry of the source data. Now, when I slide it to the right, in the view of the transform data, we can't see the geometry at all because I don't map it now. But this step, I want to do it now with you. And for this, I select the shape attribute in the source schema and the geometry attribute in the target schema. And then I select the mapping function of rename. And yes, finish this. Now the mapping starts. And okay. And then I select the geometry as the default geometry, because in some mappings I can map to different feature types in the target, and I have to set which geometry attribute is the default geometry. And now I can slide to the right side, and we see the geometry is well transformed and my transformed data. Okay, then I change back to the alignment view. And now here I can see the mapping of the shape to the geometry. Next, I will map the soil temperature at a deep of 1 meter. It's this file, this attribute. And as target attribute, the most suitable option we can found under has observation, then the subtype of observation, and then I can map it in result. And under quantity, I see here I can map a value. It's a bit complex because of the inspire schema that the value have to be here. But if you use your own schema, it can be more simple. Yes, okay. Then I use the function assign. Cancel, sorry. Use the function rename as well, like the geometry, and finish this. Now transformation starts. Now we see it here in the mapping window. And now we can look into the transform data attribute table about this with this view. And now I can see here one of my objects with the already transformed values. Here then the geometry attribute, we see the geometry as a point. And here we see a value assigned, and we can compare with our source schema, source data, and we see here the value for the soil temperature at 1 meter. It's the same value as here in my value attribute, so the transformation works successfully. But we see here the source data are in the unit degree Celsius, but often the temperature data are used in the unit Kelvin. So maybe you want to calculate the Kelvin unit for the temperature, and if you want to do this, you can do this right during the transformation. If you change the function of the mapping, I can replace the function with the function mathematical expressions, for example. So it opens this window, and we see source variable is the soil temperature, and target is the result attribute. And then next here, I can import my calculation. So I want to use the value of my attribute, and then use the calculation function for Kelvin, and then finish. Transformed. Okay, we see the in the mapping table the function changed, and if we look in the transformation data, we see the value is well calculated from the degree value, degree Celsius value in the Kelvin value. Okay, but already in the transform data, we don't see the unit. We know the unit because we did the calculation before, but someone else don't know the unit if you looked into it. So I use the attribute for the unit, and I can assign the unit manually by myself. So I use the function assign, and then next I can typing anything, and in this case I use Kelvin as unit, and then finish. Okay, and then it's here. And now I can see here in the transformed view, there's a unit next to the value. Perfect. This I can do for all measurement values I want to use in my transformed data. And if I want to do it for another one, I add one more instance of the observation. And now I have a second one. And for example, can map in this attribute the soil water content, for example, or anything you want. Okay. Then I want to show you another important function, and this function is the function of formatted strings. With this function, strings can be assigned, particularly contain information from an attribute in the source data. And this is particularly useful when you're creating names or IDs. So you can create a string with a part of attribute and put some manual strings too. So I will show you at the example when I create a name. My aim is to create a unique name for every object in my transformed dataset, and every object has a unique time step. So I will use time step for creating the name. And in this case, I select data as a time steps and the name as target schema. And then I choose a function formatted string. I select this, then we see this window. And in this part, I can create my custom string. In this case, I want the name. First, start with the name of the location. Also this case, Reifenhausen. And then I want to use the value of the attribute from the time step. So I can select it here, then finish. Okay, and then I can look into my transform data. And now I can see here the name, my self-built name with the part Reifenhausen in first part of the string, and then the time step from the attribute. So, and now you can do it this mapping for all your attributes you want. And then the last step of the transformation is to export the transformed data. And here, therefore, I use the button export. And then I choose transformed data. And then I can select the export format. Here you can use all common geo file formats like GML, CSV, GeoPackage, Shapewriter. And in the case of Inspire, I use the GML VSF 2.0 feature collection. Then next, I browse where I want to store my target file. And yes, in my transformation ordner, I started the transformed data GML. And then next, I use the prefix in the EPSG code. It's a default value for Inspire. And then I can finish this. Okay. So, and then, yeah, I can use the GML file in other tools. Yeah. One more important thing is I can look here into the report list. And I see Hey Studio says the instant transformation was successfully, but the instant validation not, because the tool have a validation automatization for Inspire schemas, and I don't do a full mapping for the schema, for this Inspire schema. So I get a warning that it's not validate the schema. But the transformation was successfully, so I can export my data. Yes. That was my short demonstration of this tool. Every mapping I create, I can store it and I can recycle for some other data sets. For example, if I have a second environmental monitoring facility from Germany with the same schema, I can reuse the mapping to transform the other data again. And yeah, this too, yeah. Yeah, and the aim of the tool is to convert all my source schema into a harmonized standardized format, which I want to work later in my own analysis after this. So then, if you don't have some questions, I will give back to Katharina.
Yes, thank you, Ramona. Thank you very much for your presentation. I would like to share again my screen. Okay, so then we can move over to Nick Irving's part for the tech integration with SWR. Nick?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. So I'll briefly discuss how external partners can integrate with the SoilWise repository. Next slide, please. So I'll briefly describe the architecture and the documentation that we have out there for external partners, and then how they can integrate both as a data user and possibly also as a data provider. Next slide, please. So we have, and I'll put the link in the chat. We have some technical documentation out there. This is the link to the documentation that we currently have. So we have information on the technical components that we are developing, the interfaces that we're setting up, the infrastructure that we're using, and more. So you can find details in that technical documentation. Next slide, please. We're also using GitHub for our code. So it's all publicly open. You can go to those repositories and have some further a further look or a more detailed look at the code that we are developing. You can also ask certain questions about that code in the GitHub. We're active there and we will get back to you. And then lastly, the next slide, please. We also have an architectural diagram. So I've also provided the link in the chat for that. So this is the architecture that we currently have for the prototype that we're using. So on the left side, you see all the different data sources that are being harvested. The ones that have been implemented are in the darker color, so darker green. The ones that we're still working on, but that are planned, are in the lighter color, so the lighter green or the lighter yellow or blue. So we have the repositories or the sources that we are harvesting. We automatically harvest those repositories. We do some further pre-processing, and then we provide this information to the users. And that's the top yellow part of the architecture. If you go to the next slide, you will see that users can use either the Hale Studio, so this is the transformation that Ramona just illustrated, or they can use the catalog. This is what Katarina demonstrated. But this is using the user interface or the tools. You can also automatically integrate or connect into the SoilWise repository, and this is what is shown on the complete right of the slide. Next slide, please. Because we provide a certain number of APIs that can be used by external partners. So we have several APIs that we are providing through a module, the ICSW, and this provides mostly spatial APIs. We also have a knowledge graph, a graph where you can use more the RDF or the linked open data type. So this is the Sparkle endpoint, which you can also use and gain our information. And we're currently also working on Solar. So this is technology to improve the function, the search functionality that we're setting up. So these APIs, and you see here the links to the documentation, these APIs can be used. And again, there, if you want to use these APIs and you have any questions, please get hold or contact us, and we will be very pleased to further discuss this and go into further depth in this. Next slide, please. So these are the points where you are a data publisher, a data user, but we can also look into external partners being a data provider. Currently, we have 4 methodologies, and I also want to stress we don't store any data. We only harvest resources that are already published somewhere else, so that have a persistent home that we can harvest from. So the first approach is we are using Cordis to find deliverables or information that is linked to the soil mission research or the soil mission funding. We get hold of those documents, that information, and then we further enrich it with information from OpenAIRE. We also harvest certain project-specific portals like PrepSoil, EGP Soil. We're also harvesting more governmental data portals. So this is through the Inspire geoportal that the national actors provide or publish their data. So this is also being harvested. And then we have a few specialized data portals that we are also automatically harvesting, such as ESDAC, ISRIC, FAO, and EEA. Next slide. Probably more commercial partners do not fall under these approaches, and that's why we're also prepared to see if we can also harvest from other parties. But there again, for us, it's important that these data sources are persistent and that they can also be trusted. So either a partner, an external partner, becomes a trusted data repository. There are a few partners that are looking into this, and we can help you if this is needed. Or you publish the resource through a trusted repository. And one of those possibilities is, for instance, data.europe.eu. You publish it there, and then we will harvest, or you add a certain tag, for instance, USO, and then we know this is also something that we want to harvest, and we will harvest it from there. So this is also another approach that we can look into if certain companies or external partners want to be a data provider for the SoilWise repository. So that, in short, is where you can find the technical documentation for the SoilWise repository and how you can integrate automatically either as a data user or a data provider. And if you have any questions, then please surely get into contact with us and we will further discuss this in a more in-depth meeting. That's my part. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick. I would like to continue on and inform you of the different ways that we have for you to provide feedback to us. First of all, as I showed you during the live demonstration, we have the Hotjar widget feedback, which can access through the SoilWise repository main page. It's usually, it may not appear in all browsers due to either privacy settings or tracking protection or cookie policies. However, if it's there and it's working, there are a series of targeted questions, such as if you find what you were looking for today, how easy it was, what made it easy or difficult, if you are satisfied with your downloaded files, if the information in the page were clear and useful, how useful is the repository altogether for your work or research, and finally, what kind of data content you would like to see added to the repository. Additionally, you can use the message form that we have under the SoilWise project website. Under the contact tab, you can just enter your details and write your message, submit it, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. So now I would like to move on to a Mentimeter that we have prepared for you to get additional feedback. Tuna, if you can take over and start the Mentimeter.
Yes. Thank you. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes,
so you can see the participation code here, or you can just scan this IQ code code, or you can enter to menti.com and use this enter code for be able to participate. Thank you.
Okay,
I will wait a bit.
Yes. Yes. Maybe yes, we can start.
Maybe. Okay, so I am starting with first slide.
Okay. So would like to know in which country are you based? So you can type on your response. Nice. Okay. So mainly from, okay, Belgium, Greece, Germany, and Italy. Okay. Maybe we can move on to the next one. And we would like to ask which stakeholder group you represent. We were focusing, as we said in the beginning, in the business community and farming profession. However, in case someone is identified with another stakeholder group, please go ahead. Okay. Okay, so mainly other. Okay, the majority. Okay, so we have a few more questions regarding the usability of the SoilWise platform. We can go to the next one. So to start off, we would like to ask you, which is more likely for you to use when you are searching for data? You would either use directly the search bar and type a term, a keyword, or some free text, or you would most likely to choose from the options that were given under the search bar. So intuitive, what is the solution you most gravitate to? Okay. Okay. So the search bar wins by far. So to move on, regarding the sort by filter, is it important for you to have a sort by date filter in order to organize the results based on their publication or release date? If it's not important, just indicate it as no. Oops. Okay. And to now we cannot see the Mentimeter. Oh, yes, thank you. Well, we can move on to the next one. And again, regarding the sort by title, just to organize the results based on alphabetical order isn't important for you to have, isn't meaningful. Please indicate it with yes or no. Okay. Maybe next one, Tuna. So here are the available filtering categories that I showed you earlier, and we would like you to rank them in order of your preference or usefulness. This is the provided given preference, a given order as we have it currently in SoilWise Repository. So if you can go ahead and rank them according to your preferences, that would be great. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time to put them in order. Yes, perfect. We have some results. So it aligns with what we have currently. So type is the most important category to filter out the results. We see soil biological properties, okay, soil physical properties, soil classification, soil chemical, and the list, let's say, in the last order positions are soil threats and processes. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't change so much. Okay. Okay, so soil classification more important than type. Perfect. Okay. Tuna, maybe we can go on to the second one. Apart from these options that we given for facets filters, do you have any other suggestions that might be important for you to have in order to filter out the results according to your preferences? If you have any other suggestions that might be useful, please indicate it. Maybe it can be related to... Okay. Okay, so we have no responses. Great. So could you rank also the metadata according to what is more valuable for you in the resulting page? We saw the abstract, the map preview in our example, the keywords, the contact details, and of course the link section and the link liveness component. So what would be the most important, the most valuable for you? Please indicate and rank them. Okay, let's just wait a bit. Okay. Okay, so far the abstract and keyword. Okay. Okay, maybe we can move on. So we have a few more additional questions regarding the overall experience. For us, it's really important to understand what kind of benefits or added value can the SoilWise repository bring to you. If you could like think of and indicate, okay, access to high quality soil resources, I guess. Yeah, that's great. Will really streamline our processes, very time efficient and user friendly. Yeah, thanks for that. Easy to find. Okay. Yeah, centralized soil data access. Great, soil material to meet different needs. Yeah. Big variety, finding relevant knowledge. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much. Maybe we can all in one place. Yes, that's the goal. Yes, and the next one will be how likely it is to integrate the repository to your current workflow. Okay, yeah, great. Thank you. Very likely. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you for the positive answers. And regarding the harmonization, do you use any harmonization transformation tools in your workflow? Okay. So most of you know. Okay. So for you, the one who said that use the transformation, could you please indicate which kind of tool do you use to harmonize the data? Okay, our studio, I guess, for harmonization. Okay. Moving on, Tuna, to the next one. So would you recommend us? Would you recommend the SoilWise repository to your colleagues? Great, thank you. Yes. Perfect. And finally, it's an open-ended question. So if you have any observations or suggestions of what can we do to enhance the SoilWise repository experience in terms of content, in terms of the demo event itself, what more can we do to enhance your experience? Okay, UI, UX, design improvements. Okay, more workshop and demo events. We'll try. And maybe we can, if it's possible to know, we can leave it open, and if there are any other suggestions, can be submitted.
Sure. I will keep this Mentimeter also open. We will share the link and the code in the chat. So if you like to contribute after demonstration itself, you can participate also.
Okay.
And we will collect your choices.
Thank you. Thank you, Tuna. Okay, improve UI UX, ensure sustainability of the project ends. Which report most seen? Okay.
So I will stop sharing right now. We can go on, and they can know that it is still open to vote.
Yes, thank you, Tuna. I will just go ahead and share my screen for the final slides of the presentation. So again, I would like to thank you for participating in today's demo event. It's really important for us. Also, I want to stress out that you can find SoilWise repository in our social media outlets, and you can scan the QR code and reach out there. And if you we have some minutes for some open discussion. If you have you or any of my colleagues an issue or a suggestion that might start in conversation and discussion, please go ahead and do that.
Feel free to raise your hand or to type your questions directly into the chat box.
Yeah, maybe everything was explained, elaborated in detail, and yes, everything was clear. So maybe we can end the session a bit earlier. Again, thank you all for participating, and reach out to us at any time with any questions you may have. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.